Hello, 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 my knitting friends. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Christy of Christy Archer Designs, and this is my knitting podcast. In today's episode, I will be going over the projects I have been working on since my last podcast, and I have been in a little bit of a knitting I've hit a couple of knitting bumps in the road, and I'm going to be going over those bumps and frustrations and what I'm doing to get beyond those. And I will also be making an announcement at the end of the video that I hope you will stick around for. It is about a CAL that I am hosting, and it starts February 1st, so I would love to give you all the details on that. So with that said, let's get started. All right, we will start with what I am wearing, and I am wearing my Sticks and Stones V-neck cardigan, and it is one of my designs. It is a top-down raglan V-neck, obviously, and it features this super squishy garter hem that I love, love, love. And if you are not new here, you know that. This is a worsted weight design, so it whips up super fast, 18 stitches per 4 inches. And this is done out of Knit Picks High Desert Wool, worsted, and I don't remember the color name, but it's the only one that looks like this. So this is a merino wool, and it does pill. I purposely did not depill this today so that I could share with you how the yarn wears. I do wear this a lot, so it really isn't that bad, but it does pill. All right, so let's talk about my finished object. And this was actually a hoe in my last podcast. I go into it in great detail. So I'm not going to go into too many details right now, but this is a heavily modified version of Florence Miller's Petal Drop Socks pattern. And this is what mine looks like. I love, love, love. There it is on the blocker. And I had so much fun knitting these. Great pattern. And I would have knit them the way they were written, but to get the stitch count that I needed for my foot, I had to modify it. So anyway, all those modifications are in my last video. I have knit these out of Knit Picks Caprita, which is an MCN in the colorway Forge, and the pattern is written for a heel flapping gusset. I changed that out for a boomerang heel, which I am currently really loving the boomerang heel. There are no holes. I am able to get a good deep heel. I have a very high arch, and I get a pretty decent fit. It's still a little tight across the instep, but it is a pretty good fit. So that is my finished object. Now we will get into my knitting speed bumps. I actually bought that sock yarn because I wanted to make an outfit, and I had purchased some Drops Charisma, and I don't love the yarn. And I talk about this in my last episode. I don't think I have knit on this anymore since my last podcast. Maybe I have. I don't exactly remember where I was. Maybe I was there and I have knit a good bit. That may be what this was for. Okay, anyway, this is Drops Charisma, and I don't like the way it knits up. It just looks very the stitches do not look nice and even. And so I did a little bit of a pre-blocking, and they don't block. It does block better, but it still doesn't look great. So I think I'm going to rip this out and maybe find a mohair to go with it and knit my everyday cardigan, which is a DK and mohair. But I think this is a worsted, but I think I can still get gauge with this and a mohair. I think it'll look better with that. So that's what I'm thinking on this. Hold on just a moment. I apologize. This is literally my 4th time filming this. I had a sick dog. It has been a mess. So let's get back to it. So that is what's going on with this. So this is speed bump number 1, and the pattern is great. The other thing I will say, the reason I kind of lost steam with this, I think I could have dealt with the wonky stitches, though I wouldn't have loved it. But the big thing is I do not enjoy knitting this cable stitch pattern. And I go into this once again in more detail in the last podcast. It's not fun for me. I don't mind doing just basic cables. Those I'm okay with. I don't love cables. So why I picked this design or this pattern, I don't know. I would like to eventually make it, but I just think I'm a little frustrated with the yarn, and so the end result isn't worth me going through making the cables, if that makes sense. So frustration speed bump number 1, that will be frogged. With that said, we are currently dealing with La Nina weather patterns, or the La Nina weather pattern here in Southern California. And because of that, we are dealing with a hot, dry winter. So that said, I wanted to knit up a sleeveless vest or top or something. And so I decided on the Audrey top by Sari Nordlund. Love, 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 love. So bought the pattern thinking I had the yarn in stash, and I knew exactly what I was doing, and I was just going to follow the pattern and make that beautiful top. And this is what I have. The yarn I had planned on using, I'm not getting gauge with at all. So I said, okay, I'll just adjust and make a larger size, blah, blah, blah. Did that, and it almost works, but not quite. The armholes are too short, and it's just a little bit tight across here. Like I should have made it just a tad bit wider. The body is perfect. No problems with that. If anything, just ever so slightly too big. So I love this yarn. I love this pattern, but I don't love the two together. This is Lana Grossa's Eco Puno. And yeah, love, love, love. But I am going to, I believe I've decided to frog this. I could wear it, but I don't think I would. Because of the fit issues, but I do love it. It's beautiful. But I think what I'm going to do is frog this, use this yarn for something else, but I want to buy yarn specifically for the Audrey top, and I just love that design. The only modification I made, aside from the gauge being different, is when she has you start at the back and just cast on a bunch of stitches straight across. and knit the back top portion. Then you pick up the stitches and knit the front. I wanted there to be some kind of little seam, so to speak. I didn't want it to be just that continuous roll. So I cast these stitches on and then increased, giving me some shoulder shaping. And I did that, I think, 4 stitches away from the edge. And I love the way that looks. That I will I will do that in my final Audrey top as well. But everything else, I love. I love the almost high, almost a mock neck, but not quite. It's still a crew neck. It's just a very high crew neck. I love it. And I love this yarn. I really do wish it had worked out. So frustration number 2, almost done with it. Literally just have a few inches left before I do the hem. And I got frustrated. This is a lot of knitting to rip back. I think my stitches were 26 per 4 inches, or my gauge was 26 inches per 4. Sorry, I've had to redo this several times. 26 stitches per 4 inches, and the pattern, if I'm not mistaken, is 20 or 21 stitches per 4 inches. It makes a beautiful fabric. I mean, I love this yarn. So with that said, I really wanted to top out of that yarn, and it was either last year or the year before I had used the same yarn, different color, to make a camisole number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I never wear it. The armholes are too big. I did not like the hem, so I've been meaning to or wanting to make some adjustments to it. So I ripped out the hem. It called for a folded hem, and it was a beautiful folded hem. Oh my goodness, it took me forever. I did mine a little bit differently, and it was perfection. But it did not work well with this particular yarn. So I ripped it out and just did a basic 1x1 hem on the bottom. Hasn't been blocked yet. And then I ripped out the armhole, which looks like this, or the armhole trim. I ripped that out and had done a 1x1 on that. There was one little part on it that looked a little wonky, so I had to rip that out and was going to do it again. And by this point, I'm just beyond frustrated with everything that I'm working on. So I said, okay, this is going in timeout. Have little balls of yarn everywhere from all the stuff that I've taken out on that one. I do hope that I get it fixed one day, but in the meantime, that one's in timeout. So I now have 3 that are 2 that are being frogged and 1 that is in timeout. So then, day before yesterday, I decided to take some scrap yarn that I have and cast on a Monday sweater by Petite Knit. Simple, right? Nothing to it. Easy peasy. Last year or year before, I had ordered this yarn from Knitting for Olive, and this is the snowflake color. And I bought it to make a ribbed top, and I started working on it, and it doesn't knit up nice. And I contacted Knitting for Olive, and they said they were aware of this. They have been working with their whoever does their milling, and they're trying to get it fixed. So they refunded me and said I didn't have to return the yarn. So I thought, well, maybe if I put a mohair with it, I won't be able to see how the stitches are not nice and smooth. I don't know what it is about wonky stitches here lately, but I've been dealing with it. So anyway, started this. The Monday sweater does have a folded neckband, but I didn't do that on this because I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of yarn. So this is what I have thus far. And this is Knitting for Olive, merino in the colorway Snowflake, and then Drops Kid Silk in the colorway Light Beige, I believe. I love the color combination. I love the marling, but the stitches are just all over the place. And I even steamed. I did not do a true blocking, and maybe that would help, but I did a steaming. I believe it was this side, and it's still, I'm just not happy with how uneven the stitches are. Are you guys keeping count? Because this is now number 4. Frustration number 4 in a row. I just feel like nothing is working. So, don't know what I'm going to do about this. I now have so many projects. I now have so many projects in timeout that I ran out of cords for my CalGoos, and I have quite a few of my 14-inch CalGoo cables because that's one of my most popular used cables, that I literally had to use my Knit Picks, Knitter's Pride, Zing, something, I don't know. I have not used these needles in a long time. I do love them though, I will say that. I love the way they feel. I just hate the colors. I wish somebody would come out with an silky aluminum needle that is not colored. I digress. So, all of that has led me to what I'm getting ready to show you, which is working up beautifully. So perseverance does pay off. I am working on a cardigan, and I thought I just need a pattern and a yarn combination that I know is going to work and I can work on and everything be fine. I don't have to question, I don't have to change. So that is what I have done. And as I'm working on it, I'm thinking, you know what? It would be fun to do a CAL. I would love to knit with others. And I think I'm going to start a message thread on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, message me. And on February 1st, I'm going to do a cast on party. And I am hosting a 3-month-long CAL, so February 1st to April 30th. And you can knit any of my cardigan patterns. I have 5 to choose from, and I will talk about them and pop up pictures real quick. So my very first cardigan pattern that I ever wrote was my Spring Fling. It is I'm trying to think, all of these are raglan. That's my favorite construction. Top down raglan. So this one is a fingering weight, but if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it is 24 stitch gauge. So you could easily use a sport. And it is a very lightweight. If you use a fingering, it's just very flowy, and I would not use a light fingering, but a heavier weight fingering, I love that pattern. My sample is shown in stripes. But of course you could do solid. I do need to make a solid version, and maybe during this CAL I will make one. That would be a lot of fun. So I have my spring fling, and then the next pattern I designed was cardigan pattern, I believe was my sticks and stones. And my original was a crew neck, and it is a worsted weight, 18 stitch gauge, top down raglan. You start with the neckband, so you're not picking up stitches later on that. Work all the way down, do that nice squishy garter hem that I love so much. Then you pick up for your button band and buttonhole band and do those, then do your sleeves, and you are good. It whips up fast at the worsted weight gauge, and it is just a great all-around cardigan pattern. The next one I designed, I believe, was the everyday cardigan. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at, no. It was it the everyday? It doesn't matter what order I did them in. Anyway, I have the everyday cardigan, which is a very oversized, frumpy around the house. I mean, it's not super frumpy, but it's a great, like for your workout clothes, or I don't know, it's just very, very casual. And that is knit up out of a DK and fingering, if I remember correctly. Could be a sport, but I believe it's a DK and a fingering. So, and I don't remember the gauge on that, but I'm obsessed with the one that I have made. I've only made one of those. I do need to make more, but the yarn combo I used on that was Knit Picks, woolen cotton, and they're Aloft. The perfect yarn combination. Never pills. I've worn the heck out of that sweater, out of that cardigan. I do not have one pill bump on it at all, period. It is amazing. It is heavy, not in a bad way though. It just gives you that, you want to snuggle up, and oh, it's just so good. Then I also have my Chestnut Grove, and that is a that is, you have two options for that. You can either do fingering and mohair, or you can do a sport weight, and it is a 20, I cannot remember. I think it's a 23 stitch gauge or 21 stitch gauge. I can't remember. I love that. I have made quite a few of those. Just ordered yarn for 2 more, and I'm currently working on one. So that is definitely a pattern that I love, 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 love. It is top down raglan. It is V-neck. I am going to be going back and making a crew neck version of that. I'm excited about that, and maybe one of these new yarns that comes in, I may do the crew neck version. But for now, it is V-neck. The weight of it is just perfect for me. It's light, easy to wear. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's just that perfect, perfect cardigan pattern. One of them I did in Knit Picks High Desert in the sport weight, and I did it striped, so I used 2 colors on that, and it's a lot of fun. And then I have done Knit Picks Aloft with Knit Picks palette. That is a fantastic, I love Aloft. As if you're not new here, you know I love Aloft. The palette does pill. I would like to do an Aloft and a Caprita. So have the MCN and then the Aloft. Oh, that would be heaven. But anyway, that is a great pattern. And then my last pattern is my Sticks and Stones V-neck. and again, worsted weight, so it's easy. So 5 patterns to choose from, all giving you a different look and feel and vibe. And I would love to have you join me. And with that said, I will share my last whip. So this is my Chestnut Grove. Sorry. And this, I'm finally making myself a black cardigan. I have needed one of these for years, so I'm so excited to finally have this. So this is my Chestnut Grove. It looks great when I put it up close. And it is a little, the yarn is, the fingering yarn is a dark charcoal, but the mohair that I'm using is black. So it's black enough for me. So I'm using Drops Flora and Drops Kid Silk. And this is a combo I've used on other of my Chestnut Grove cardigans, so I know it works. So my point to all of that is when you hit these speed bumps in your knitting journey, next time this happens to me, I am just going to grab a pattern and a yarn combo that I know works and work on that and set all of the frustrating projects to the side and just have a little bit of a break from them. I'm sure once I get back to them, I will be able to look at it from fresh eyes and deal with them a little more effectively. So hopefully you are not dealing with any current knitting speed bumps, but if you are, let me know how you deal with them. Let me know if any of this has been inspiring for you, if you have learned anything. Yeah, that has been my knitting for the past 2 weeks. And I am excited about this CAL. I do hope that you will join. The hashtag is going to be hashtag CAD for Christy Archer Designs. So CAD Cardi Party CAL, KAL. And it is going to be hosted on Instagram. And I am hoping to be able to do a giveaway. And my plan for a giveaway is a gift certificate for either Knit Picks or Wool Warehouse or Wool & Co. I don't know. Pick a yarn store. And I think that's what I'm going to do for the giveaway. So I would love to have you join. I know cardigan weather for the average person is right around the corner, whether you are in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. Transitional weather will be here before you know it. And truly, cardigans are something I wear year round. I make more cardigans than I do anything else. They are so easy to layer. If you get hot, take it off. If you're cold, throw it on. So I am a huge advocate for cardigan knitting, and I hope that you will join me. I just realized I forgot to mention the greatest part of the CAL, and that is, or one of the greatest parts of the CAL, that is my patterns are 50% off for this CAL. So if you will use hashtag, I will put it up here. I believe it is Cardi Party 50. I'll pop it up here. At checkout, you will get 50% off of your pattern purchase. Don't know why I forgot that, because that's very important. But there you have it. So back to the podcast. So that is it for today. I will be back again soon. I'm hoping to do my 2024 makes end of year review and all of that really soon. So watch out for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.